So this is a replay that was submitted by M Captain. This is an arms race Nakhimov game.
Oh no, this is not.
So
I know how this ends.
I'm trying to. M Captain's a huge plane spotter nerd, so I want to get a really fun screenshot or two of him starting this match. And the Nakhimov, of course, has these ridiculous steam-powered catapults that just launch the plane up.
They're not actually catapults. It's basically rocket.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
It's the rocket things like Issei and Tone have.
I'm thinking because they do have. It looks like they have catapults on either side, but I guess they just aren't set up properly.
That's just I think an angled attack, I guess.
Well, no, but if you look, see, there's a catapult there.
Oh.
That's a catapult. That's got to be a catapult. Why would you?
Oh, it is.
That is.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just that
well, I mean, it's designed for multiple kinds of planes.
Hmm.
That is very surprising. Other thing, Swansk turrets on an aircraft carrier.
Why are you surprised by anything that came out of the Russian lines? Is what I'd like to know.
Yeah, right.
What surprised me most was the Talon, because it's like, oh, Russian ships are. I mean, Russian ships are generally very good, and then came the Talon, and it was like, what is this?
Well, to be fair, it's also a Hipper hull.
Yeah, that was a war prize.
Hipper hull was a little bit. I mean, Hipper hull's a little trolly, but like, okay, they did buff the dispersion on the Talon, so maybe everything sorts out.
What is this, a freaking air show? Look at this.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's just.
Right there, right there.
That is.
Okay, let's be honest. This is another example of the Russian OP because the Russian pilots weren't that good.
Yeah.
And before Wargaming bans us all for my comment.
There's your air show right there, guys.
Oh,
let's see if I can pull out the carrier anymore. I can a little bit.
That's beautiful.
It looks like the hand of God. See, that's the that phrase right there is probably what figures into the design of every Russian ship in the game.
Right?
How do we make this the hand of God?
Yeah, like,
hand of Stalin, you mean?
Hand of Stalin.
Well, to be fair though, power creep has finally caught up with a lot of the Russian ships too. I mean,
yeah,
if you're looking,
Stalingrad, yeah.
If you're looking at clan battles now, with the limitations that they placed on ships, there's not as many Russian ships. You know, there's very few Kremlins being seen because its range is now a severe shortcoming compared to everything like Ohio and Fukushima. And they also have 18 and 20-inch guns, and you know they both have secondaries, which it does not have, and they both outrange it. And their sides are significantly better protected, so it's now a liability to bring a Kremlin into a clan battle.
For sure.
It doesn't have this, the get out of jail free secondaries that Kurfürst have. Kurfürst is still viable depending on what scheme your team is running. Kremlin is not.
Kurfürst is also very difficult to citadel.
You're not seeing as many Moskvas. You're not seeing as many Petras. You're not seeing as many Stalingrads. They're with the changes that Wargaming put into place. They're not as viable anymore because they were built to do and face the one thing. And since you don't see those things now, they're not as useful.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be, Stalingrad, Venezia, and Hakuryu spam back a few seasons ago. Now it's like, whatever. Just whatever lineup wins. It's not just a set, meta.
You have to position extraordinarily well, and you have to build your team on what you expect, and what you expect to do, rather than, 5 Stalingrads, we win, lol.
Yeah. I love Viper. I love your question right now. Am I in normal speed? There we go. I love your question, Viper. Do you have to be a tier 10 to have people play with who do teamwork, like a BB working with a destroyer to control space? No. I'm laughing so hard because
that's where you get it the least.
It gets worse as you grind up. So enjoy it for what it is right now when you're at tier 4 and 5, my friend.
Enjoying things. Speaking of which, Admiral Nakhimov.
Shimakaze's gonna enjoy this skip bomber right here.
Oh, he's gonna have fun. No. Oh no.
I've been practicing with a mailman that I got out of a crate in co-op, and that thing is just stupidly funny.
So did you see how he dropped those bombs? He dropped it a little bit ahead so that the bombs would drop and skip up into the Shimakaze. 8k damage, 8.5.
And that is what the Nakhimov does best.
Skip bombers was Wargaming's reply to the people who complained about rocket planes. Well, fine. If you don't want the rocket planes taking off 8K,
Yes.
here, have some skip
Yes.
bombers.
So they nerfed the rocket planes. This is great. They nerfed the rocket planes by redoing the mechanic, right? They, and then they introduced skip bombs, which completely negate that. And skip bombs are even worse for the game because skip bombs you can drop at maximum anti-air range from targets that actually have good anti-air, so you
Yep.
don't care about it. And then
this
they
one
put it
is
on
like-
their ships.
Yeah, I smacked the Des Moines with Emelman's skip bombers from right outside the range, and I just
Oh.
laughed because
Watch this.
that's
Like,
the only
oh,
way to do it.
He's at near max range, hits F as soon as he drops. Most of those planes are going to survive that, and he does one fire and one pen, unfortunately. But
I actually find the skip bombers very easy to use.
of course they are.
I did not think I would be able to get I think I would be able to understand when to drop based on what it was that I was trying to drop against that quickly. But it's very, very short learning curve.
Now,
Yeah.
one thing that I would comment on is you went skip bomber and then skip bomber again, and you have to be careful with that because you might lose skip bombers too quickly here. You might have been better off using rockets the second time instead of skip bombers. Awesome guy, thank you for the follow.
Oh yeah, by the way, so here's the thing about the Nakhimov and really the entire Soviet carrier line. They drop all their ordnance in a single attack run.
That's
what
right.
that means is, it's not multiple waves of ordnance. It's like, oh, we have ordnance, let's just throw it all in your face and see how you like it.
Yep.
That's kind of the thing.
That drop was too early. You started that run too early. I think you should have started it 10 seconds earlier, and you would have been able to tighten up on the... okay, fine, you can hit him with 5 torpedoes. Never mind. Jeez.
Well,
hell
the
is
Russian
that?
carriers, and to me, they're easier to play because even though you've got the same view that you have with all the other carriers now, they play more like the old RTS carriers. And
Yeah,
to
because-
me, that's what I was so used to. It's just easier for me to play them.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Yeah,
this is what the rework should have been. The rework should have been that they, regardless of what line it is, the carrier comes in, does this damage, it doesn't worry so much about spotting the enemy, doesn't worry so much about trying to prevent, put fighter cover over your teammates. It's all about doing damage.
I mean, I don't disagree with that, but then again, the implementation that Wargaming did with that, with the Soviet carriers, I mean, sure, but with the amount of ordnance that these things are throwing out, I mean, look at the Nakhimov's rocket attack aircraft for a second. Like, you're throwing out 32 rockets that have very similar power to American Tiny Tims. You're gonna hit, if you, like, and with how big some targets are in the game, you're guaranteed to get
10k,
hit by-
11k.
Yeah, had like 15, 20k taken off my Montana before by Nakhimov rockets just because of how hard they hit.
Yep.
So,
Especially early on
it's-
when you don't have any saturation.
And I mean the design's good, but the amount of ordnance, yikes.
Yeah.
Playing more CVs over the last few months and competitive and clan battles and things like that, I'm learning to understand that what the player base wanted against the rocket planes was too much. Because playing them now, I mean, the rocket planes were really, they're supposed to be your anti-DD weapon and your quick reaction weapon. And now they're really not that good for either one of them because you're discovering the DD most often when it's too late to turn and attack it with your rocket planes, especially with the way they're now designed. And in a lot of carriers, people don't even use them anymore. I mean, there's just no point, by the way they're thinking. And honestly, they're not wrong. I was perfectly okay with it until I started playing them more and realized, okay, well, I've got an armament that in essence is useless.
So you're telling me that the players don't necessarily know what they
I mean, there are
want.
times when the players are right. There is no getting around that. But there
Absolutely.
are times when what they want is way too much compared to what the threat they're trying to deal with actually is. And the rocket plane nerf, the Wargaming did what the players wanted, and the players were wrong.
Well, and there's other things that they're doing too to listen to the players. For example, there's this test upcoming. They posted in the dev blog about it, right? About some changes.
Plane spying, yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
So basically what Wargaming is pitching with this new spotting mechanic rework is that it's sort of like you can see the silhouettes, but you can't actually see the ship.
Yeah, you can see them on the mini-map or something like that. Can we just take a second? I want to comment. M-Captain's already used up all of his rocket boosts, or his engine boosts, for his rockets.
I was about to say that too.
And for skip bombers. I mean, you're not even 7 minutes into the game.
I feel bad for this Napoli. He's about to get...
Yeah, I don't use the engine boost unless I need it.
Oh, never mind. You only hit one rocket.
I mean, I am not, you know, because you know you're going to use them all, and then you're actually going to need them. It's just like the consumables on any other thing. You don't want to use all your speed boosts and smokes on a destroyer. You need to keep them for when you actually need them.
Yeah.
Right.
Because otherwise, you're going to find out, 10 minutes into the battle that you need them and you don't have them.
That's right. That's right. Yes, Rob, the stream is sponsored today by Farm Sim 22, which we'll be playing in a little bit. But
I
yeah,
thought the stream was sponsored by Stevie.
Yeah, the thing about the Russian aircraft is that they are very slow. So if you're used to, especially like Immelmann and other ships where you can just go through and speed all over the place, it's not going to be that way. So, I think that's part of the problem. I fall into this too, where I use my engine boost a little bit too much as well. Hey, math teacher.
Like in a DD, at the start of a match, virtually every player hits their speed boost. And sometimes that's a good thing. It depends on the DD you're in and how fast it's going to make you. It depends on where you're trying to go, and it depends on the map. I don't always use mine.
I mean, if I'm playing a French destroyer, for example, I'm gonna... If I see that, I can cap this without being contested, I'm going to press that engine boost, because my engine boost lasts for 3 minutes, and it's a 20% engine boost, so I can just W into a cap and take it and get out. But if you're playing something like, say, a destroyer that has a normal engine boost, it's only a 2-minute engine boost, and it's a much lower maximum speed. So I'm going to save my engine boost for when I actually need it. Like, say, oh no, there's a cruiser with a radar. I'm going to press that button and I'm going to get out of here.
Yep. General too. I noticed that M-Captain's moving his carrier up, which is, I think, a good thing. This ship, especially because of the slower planes, it really punishes you if you're too far away from the battle. So you have to find that right idea of how far can I go. Look how deep the Kitakaze is gone. I think you could have started going mid even earlier than you did.
Another thing to go along with the speed boost is most people with like the French ships, they go to the armory, they get the engine boost modification, and it's a waste. Because, ships like the Algerie, even with all that, you're asking for trouble. Whereas, ships like, say, the Marceau, or ships like the Georgia, they actually benefit from it significantly, but not all of them do. So you've wasted your spot, you've wasted your coal. What was the point? Because you're not helping your ship. You actually put that on there. You're actually putting yourself in a worst case scenario.
There it is.
Those trippy.
I saw this flying boat for a second. I'm like, what the hell is that? Look at this.
What?
It's German.
That is a Messerschmitt Me-223 Gigant. Basically,
that's the Gigant.
Yep. Basically, it's like the Germans wanted a sort of reusable, because they had a cargo glider in the past.
You can't shoot it down.
You can't shoot it down. It's like, they're like, hey, what can we do? And they're like, okay, you know what? We need a new cargo transport. Let's just slap 6 engines and some landing gear on it. There you go.
All the U.S. Air Force's massive cargo planes today are descended from that plane.
Yeah.
I think you would have been better off going for the Salem, but, I mean, you already decided on the Repub, so that's fine.
This Repub is about to get hurt really bad.
I mean, you can even look at the design of today's planes, and they look shockingly similar to that plane from 80 years ago.
So here you go again.
7 hits.
7 hits and a fire. And here you go again with doing skip bomber and then another skip bomber after that. I don't know.
Torpedoes, honestly.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, I think you need to start. I fall under this problem too, where I don't cycle my planes as much as I should. And now
I
it's going
tend
to take you a very long time
to make
before
sure
you
that
can
I'm
skip
using
on
a
again.
different one every set out, especially if I'm trying to hit the same ship. Because if you keep hitting them with the same thing, they're learning to play against it. Whereas if you hit them with a different thing every time, they're like, what the hell do I do now? And you want to keep the people you're attacking, no matter what your ordnance is or the ship you're in, you want to keep them guessing as to what's coming. Because if they're guessing, you have a better chance of pulling off what it is you want to do.
Right.
Now, the question is, lion or Salem? Lion or Salem? What's gonna happen here?
I mean, the more you make them think,
Salem.
the better off you are.
Although you started that run too late.
Yeah.
Now you're going with rockets again. Switch to skip? What? I think you're better off just dropping the rockets at that point.
Captain, the pipe blow up in your house or on your ship? These are things that are important to know.
Is he making sure to use rockets to follow back for taxing? He's not, Math Teacher. That's what we were talking about. Was there's not a lot of rotation of squadrons here. It's mostly just skip bombs in majority, and then a little things here and there. And I think rotation would be better off.
Yeah, he's not getting his lineups as I've noticed this throughout the battle. He's using skip bombers at angles, which guarantees that a lot of it's going to miss.
Right. Hey, Captain. Had an issue with water pipe blowing up. That's important. So go fix your water pipe.
I had that happen a few years ago in my last house, where the pipe from the water main in the yard broke right on our side of it. So we had to pay for it.
Also, don't drop here. You're just going to torpedo a dead Hulk. Most likely.
Yeah, he's figured that out. He's trying to widen the spread so he can get it from the back.
Yeah, Kitakaze got him from the other side, so it's all good.
That's the other thing with carriers that you've got to learn much better than you did in a surface ship, is it takes so much time from the moment you decide to drop your ordnance. You have to understand what all is about to happen to this ship I'm trying to kill, because you probably just wasted your ordnance for nothing.
Right.
Hi, I'm here. Yeah, the explosion happened like a while ago, and I was trying to fix the internet up and talking to AT&T, so I'm here now.
Okay. So, comments we've made so far, Captain, in your gameplay, cycle your planes more. Don't keep using the same plane type. And then the other thing is, be more conservative with the use of engine boost. Unless you absolutely need to use it, I wouldn't use it until towards the end of the battle.
And your angle of attack.
Okay.
I mean, you have 88k, and a ship like Nakhimov at tier 10, you should probably have like 130, 140k right now.
Right. So if I can sum it up, get good.
Yeah, if you can sum it up, get good.
or just be Triarch and
it's not that you're necessarily doing anything horrible. These are just things that if you tweak them a little bit, the outcome, the productivity that you're looking for, all of a sudden is there. Instead, it's not that you have to like massively change things. The only massive change I would say is you're using your engine boost too much.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, yeah.
That's the thing that's one habit I had when they first stopped that rework. And I still have it to a degree.
You can get away with it in co-op. You kind of need it in co-op, but in randoms and ranked and competitive play, you really need to use it sparingly.
I like how Karandar is just chasing down a Napoli. That just seems like a dumb idea.
Well, he basically said he's basically said at this point, screw it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was trying to go down.
Have you not met the guys from DPG? This is normal, dude.
Yeah, we do things a lot more interesting to say.
It's like a clan-wide blind spot, and I find it hilarious because sometimes you get some spectacular results.
Oh yes, we do. I mean, in clan battles recently, I ran down in my Christopher Colombo and I rammed a Kremlin and deleted a full health Petrov with my guns.
Oh, that must have been great.
Stevie's back.
It was so satisfying. I gotta say, it was so satisfying.
All right, everybody. Stevie is back.
Hi, Stevie.
Snowman Goose, what you have to understand about people firing into smoke to you is people have gotten better at it for the simple fact that people are doing it more. It's repetitive. They understand the ship they're trying to hit in the smoke. They understand from experience the various moves you can make while in the smoke, depending on the ship you're in. Like I completely owned a Vampire 2 last night in clan battles in Puerto Rico. I didn't even have him radared, but I understand his mechanic and how he's using it. So I just led the smoke and nailed him for 14k. So
well, there's also the circle now that we're getting put on the mini map. So
I don't even use it. I understand what it is I'm trying to shoot with smoke. I understand the size of his cloud. That tells me, I know how many guns I'm using against him. I know where to shoot on his hull based on where I see the flames coming out of the smoke.
All right, Captain.
It's a simple thing.
This is just for you. Yeah. Germans and Russian planes together in frame.
Oh boy, yeah. Shame that I can't shoot them down.
You do have a hit to your dispersion, based on your firing without a target lock. That is true.
I will say.
Go ahead.
I will say this. I don't think you should be turning away and running to the corner right now. This game is pretty much going to end depending on what happens with the Yoshino. You need to be closer to ensure that the Yoshino doesn't die, and also to get your planes in it quicker so that you can do more damage.
Alrighty.
But here's the thing, Snow Mongoose. You're firing into a small area. You're going to get more hits if you keep firing in that area.
So this was my second battle in this ship, so just to let you know, I've kind of adapted my habits a bit more. Like I play the ship a little bit more proactive, I guess is the word to choose. So little changes, but still a lot of the stuff that's being played right now, like that you're seeing right now, I still do. So
get good.
Like wasting the engine boost and all that.
Sure.
Or as we like to say, get gooder.
Yeah, I have to get gooder.
Because if you're gonna butcher grammar, just go ahead and go all out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all out at this point.
If you put everything you are into everything you do, and that includes butchering the English language, I mean, come on.
I mean, if ever you speak English and you're not butchering the English language, then you're doing something wrong.
I think that lolcats is one of the greatest things to ever affect the English language, and you can't change my mind.
Playing over your teammate might have been a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had one left.
I was gonna say that, but I figured you were gonna do it, and also, I wouldn't have to say it.
Also, that was a very early drop. I'm not sure why you waited, why you dropped so early there.
I was trying to
think
force
he thought he was
Slav.
But I also think he thought he was gonna lose too many of his planes the closer he got.
That too.
But in this particular case, you're trying to get guaranteed damage, so you should have pressed on.
So here's where if you had gone or stayed closer-ish, I mean, I would have put your carrier behind the Delta 8 island, just so that it can, because you would have been able just to keep launching on the Nakhimov, or I'm sorry, on the Napoli. But now obviously it's too late. He's gotten too
and like
far
Matt
up.
said, these things aren't exclusively Nakhimov things. The cycling of the squadrons, the lead, understanding when to use the boost, where to put your fighters. These are all CV things. You have to learn how to manage your resources and everything. It's just that in ships that only have certain amounts of guaranteed damage, type things, it becomes more important.
Yep. All right, so you're gonna run for the border. You're gonna scrape along it, and you're gonna try to drop the Napoli with torpedo bombers, which is fine.
Oh, 10k hit on the Napoli.
I actually, judging from where those left, dispersion was your friend right there, because judging from where that ellipse was, I thought you were gonna miss.
I'm surprised you put your planes where you did. I thought you might have put them closer to where the enemy was gonna attack from.
I mean, to be fair, the Napoli is hard spotted, so because he's firing. My question is though, actually, I don't really have any questions.
You won on points. Look at the time. Look at the time. You won 40 points.
I am all that's left, and we will win.
And my carrier was on fire in 3 places.
I saw that.
Was about to
My
get-
5K beat your 150K.
I'm not sure if
Suck
you
it.
noticed. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but in that replay, there is one point you'll see me look back at the carrier, and when the Slava shells were coming in,
Yeah.
and
You were
and
saluting
I
your
think 4 of
carrier.
them bounced. 4 of them bounced off of my deck, and I laughed my ass off.
I
course you
guarantee
did.
you still got reported more than you got comped.
You know what's
Please don't let this go,
surprising?
man. Don't
I
worry.
didn't get reported, but I got complimented 5 times.